Hi guys, so welcome to the fifth video of this Love Bubber 450 questions series. So four videos are done. We have done, I think, 16 questions or maybe more than that. I've forgotten the count. More than that, definitely. Uh, so in today's video, we have to do this question. We have to start with find a factorial of a large number. So before starting, I would want to say if you have found this channel for the first time, please subscribe and share it with your friends. If you already know how to do all these problems, but you just want to revise, you can have a look at it. Maybe some method that you don't know that I will be sharing, you might understand. But if you don't know, like, I mean, if you know everything and you still feel it will be a waste of your time, please share it with your friends. It might help them. And like my videos if you really like it. So let us start with today's video. Find a factorial of a large number. So factorial actually, you can find factorial up to, I think, n is equal to 15 or 20, because after that you cannot have such a large number, like you cannot store large numbers. Long int, unsigned long int and all, it will go up till 10 power 18, 19, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But after that, the numbers become too long. So in C++, you cannot do the normal method of finding factorial. That is, keep multiplying all elements from 1 to n. But in Python, I think there is inbuilt function to find factorial. You give any number, it will give you the answer. So these kind of questions, I don't think you will get in the coding round because it will be unfair for people. Like if somebody is using Python or Java having big integer, then this question will be unfair for them. I mean, it will be easy for them and unfair for others. But this kind of question can be asked in a technical interview, like they can ask you explain without using any built-in functions. So the method that I will be telling you will be like, it's not any like my method or anything. Even I have studied with online resources only. So that method involves to find each and every digit of the large number form, store it in a vector or a string, and ultimately print that. So storing each and every digit and all, there is standard procedure. I will be sharing the code with you. You can have a look at it. So before that, okay, there are test cases. So let us take test case T, and input is only n over here. Okay, and let us just say cout fact of n. Now let us define this function called fact, void fact int n. Over here, what we will be over here what we will be doing is, let us take a vector of integer type and let us push 1 into the vector, okay, initially. So this will be the first step. Then let us say for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n plus plus I, we, let us say, multiply v comma I. So multiply is a function, and that function has two parameters, vector and current integer, that is I. So after that, what we will do, we will now reverse the vector. Okay. And let us say I is equal to 0 now. And while v of I is 0, we will not do anything. We will just keep incrementing. And then ultimately for j equal to I, j less than v dot size plus plus j, cout v of j. So this is the fact function. Okay. Basically, we'll be outputting all the digits. But now how to find the digits? What is this multiply function? So void multiply. What are the parameters? Parameters will be a vector and an integer, say x. In this multiply function, what we will need a carry variable, because in multiplication there will be a carry. And let us say for I equal to 1, I less than v dot size. Sorry, I equal to 0, I less than v dot size. Now what we will be doing is, now over here, let us say multiply is v of I into x, and v of I will be multiply, sorry, mul. The variable is mul, mod 10, and carry will be equal to multiply by 10. And we'll say while carry v dot pushback carry mod 10 carry by equal to 10. So I think this should do. Let us test it. Let us say there are two test cases, and let us give, first we'll give number 5 and then we'll give number 10. Okay. So some problem occurred, some linker error. Let us build it once again. Some compiler errors are there. So I was doing a very stupid mistake actually. I was giving cout over here, whereas the return type is void. I was thinking I'm returning some number. I'm very sorry for this stupid blunder of mine, but there is no need to give cout. I'm just calling this function and it will print everything. I'm giving end of line. So I got the answer over here. So that was, the code was correct, but you can have a look at the code again. So basically there are two functions, fact and multiply. Multiply function is this. Over here, I forgot to put carry and I've fixed that. So this is the multiply function. This is the factorial. And ultimately we are going to print each and every digit of that entire number. You can do it with strings also. I'm just using vector method. So as you can see, we are getting the answers. And let us now go on to, or we will submit. Actually, let us submit and see. So we got the correct answer for this problem. And let us go to the next question. Next question is find maximum product subarray. So given an array of integers, it can have positive, negative elements. Find maximum product subarray. So this question, how I will be doing is like this. So expected time complexity of n and space complexity of 1. So to satisfy these conditions, what I will be doing is, let us first take the input and now let us take some variables x, y, z. Maximum, let it be a of 0. Minimum, let it be a of 0. And result, let it be a of 0. For I equal to 1, I less than n plus plus I. Let us say x is equal to a of I. Y is equal to max into x. Z is equal to minimum into x. Maximum is maximum of x, maximum of y, z. Minimum is minimum of x, minimum of y, z. Result is maximum of maximum of result and maximum of max and minimum. And finally, we have to print result. So let us take some input and check. Is there any input? So we're getting the answer 120, which is required. So let us submit this code. So over here, we'll have to return the answer. And let us change the array to A. So we don't have to take any input or anything. So this should be fine, right? So code doesn't work for this number. So I was trying to debug the code, but I was not able to figure out what is wrong in this approach because I used LeetCode and the same question I got the correct answer by doing the same code. But over here I'm getting some error. Maybe because the integer is too long. I don't know what is the problem. maybe it's not, maybe this max minimum function is not working. Please tell me in the comments if you have solution for this, because it is working in one place and it's not working in the other. I've written the same code. So this code is correct only, the approach is right. I do not know why it is working, not working over here. But as n is only 500, I think, but they want us to have O of n complexity, and it's always good to get the best approach. This is having O of n complexity and O of one solution also. I don't know why it's not working here. If there is some fault in this code, if you can think of some fault, then tell me, but I think this is correct. Let us go to next question then, longest consecutive subsequence. So given an array of positive integers, find length of longest subsequence such that all the numbers are consecutive. So the O of n solution for this problem will be, first of all, let's create a hash array and let all the elements be 0. After that, let us take the input, and in the hash array, let us make the value 1 if that particular element is present in the array. Okay. Then what we will do, then we will scan through the hash array, because hash array, all the elements are consecutive, right? Because you are starting from 0, going like 1, 2, 3. So let us keep a count variable and let us keep counting whenever h of I is 1. That means that element is present in the array. Why are we doing this method? Because we are not bothered about the order, as it is given as a subsequence. We don't care about the order. So for example, if it is 1, 3, 2, 4, it is still a valid consecutive subsequence, because when you arrange all the elements, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't care about the order. That is why we can use a hash array, and this problem can be solved with the hash array only. Just keep incrementing the counter when h of I is 1. If h of I is not 1, then record the maximum and reset count to 0. Finally, print the maximum. So this is the approach that I have used. You can tell me a better solution if you have. So time complexity will be O of n, and the space complexity will also be O of n. So longest consecutive subsequence was this. And maybe this longest consecutive subsequence, what we can do is, there is one more approach, like you can sort the vector and remove the duplicates. Sort the array vector, whatever, remove the duplicates, and then check how many consecutive elements are there. It become easy. Then it will become very straightforward. You have to use this method only. Keep a count variable and keep checking difference between adjacents. If difference is equal to 1, increase the count. If difference is not equal to 1, then record maximum and reset count to 0. So other method, that is n log n time method, sorting and removing the duplicates. You can use the arrays function or something else you can do, but you can do it in n log n time, O of one time complexity. That is no extra space. Sorry, O of one space complexity, no extra space. So this video, that's all. Let us see the other things in the next video. Please share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel and like my work if you like it. Bye.